I don't know what happened. Um, Let me know if everything good. It just started tripping. I don't know. Let everybody let me know if they can hear and see me. I'm gonna try to figure something out on this side. If it's hold on, let me look at something. Um, okay. I think we might be all right now. Um, yeah, we might be all right. Let me try one more thing. All right, I think we all right. I think we all right. All right. It looked like we all right. Okay, everybody look like my bad. I ain't even looking at the chat. Look like everybody say we good. All right, let me holler at y'all real quick. Let me holler at y'all real quick. Dang, it's weird. All right. Shalom, Sister Mahalia. Sister Grow a Glow. Shalom, sis. How you doing? California. Sister Ebony, Shalom. Uh Valletta, Shalom. Amana, Shalom, sis. Kanayael, Rakah, Yashrael, Shalom to you. Walter Henry, Tatiana, Xavier, Lishaba, Dos, Samaja. Shalom, says Sister Samaja. Nalia, Shalom. Yana, Shalom. Ema, Tammy, Shalom to you. Keisha, Shalom. Sister Sharika, Shalom. In Georgia yesterday. Takora, Shalom. Sister Maritza, Shalom. Elder, I think that's Elder Jimmy. If that's you, Shalom to you. Saraya, my brother Saraya, who he read it. Shalom to you. Daughter Zion, our brother K. Burks. Shalom, poetry. Abram, Kathy, Darnell, Sister Saul. Shalom. Kalita Washington. Shalom. Marita Paul, Sojourner, and Truth. Holly, KK, baby girl. Shalom. Mooney, Sabrina, Shalom, Brina. Sister Lanisa, Georgia yesterday, Shalom. Sister Nicole, Cole, or could be Cole. I don't know. Shalom to your daughter, Yahuwah. Shalom, Darnell. Shalom, Jayla, Shalom. Cicely Hudson, shalom. Sherman Lester, shalom. Keisha, Kimberly, Lijiba, Alaya, Kawhi, shalom, shalom, family. Nelia Harris, shalom. Michael Brown, okay, Simmons, Bria, shalom, sis. Marlita, yeah, I guess I said that right. Paul Gorin, Deandra, Sister Charlotte Durham, shalom, sis, how you doing? Family down there in Mississippi. Hope y'all doing well. Verify K, poetry by Karima Judah, shalom. Wanisa, Malakaya, Lilia, Tafila, Yahoo, shalom, my sister. Tahilim, 16, Tiffany, K for Yahoo, Yashal, shalom, April, Sonovia, shalom. Ashley, Sister Ashley, shalom. Learning, shalom, shalom. William McLean, Yanisha, Tashi Yahoo, shalom, my sister. Big Boss Man, 85, shalom. Joyce, Hank, True Worship, I think that's everybody. Cheryl Twin, 23. Shalom, family. Just wanted to come on real quick. Give you a quick little word. It won't be long today. And then, I'm gonna take some prayer requests from you and see what the Most High is saying. And then that'll be it. Restoration Center, Charlotte. Shalom to y'all. Y'all doing big things down there. Shalom to you and your family. Pastor, First Lady down there, New Orleans. Shalom to y'all. Okay. Just put on here, I wanted us to really get this today. We had a powerful time yesterday. Once I burst some things out, a lot of prophetic things happened. It was just good. It's good. We almost thought we weren't gonna be able to bring a word, but the Most High allowed time for that also too. Did a lot of warfare and worship for ourselves yesterday in the service. So it was real good. It was real good. But I woke up this morning. I'm having dreams, but I can't remember. Almost I'm gonna have to just tell me, when I have my time with them. But that ain't what I got on here for. I just wanted us to finalize in your mind and settle in your heart and be resolved that you're going 100% the way of Yahuwah. There's a lot of elements out of your past that whatever you've been in before, whether if it was Christianity, whether if it was the church, whether if it was the mosque, whether if it was Buddhism, whatever it is, you got to be resolved that you're done with that. That you got to completely divorce yourself from that type of thinking, divorce yourself from that type of mindset. Because we have to be honest with ourselves. A lot of times we became the environment that we grew up in. With me, I was immersed in the things of the church. That's what I was raised in that. So it's like a lot of aspects of these things we got to pull off and be okay and completely resolve. Now, I say that, and you might be listening and say, well, we already done that now. It's still some elements that are within you and thinking patterns that's within you that comes from the way you grew up, even mindsets with fathers, mindsets that you learned from your mother, dealing with your children and dealing with how you operate and how we do things. Because right now, the Most High is interested in nothing more but nation building. He's raising up a tabernacle, and the tabernacle of Dawid is what he's raising up now. And it's going to look different, and it's going to seem different. And it's going to challenge some of the ways that we do things. And we have to be settled in our heart completely. That's the core of our being. Because some stuff, when we going back to the ancient paths, man, and you're going back to the old landmarks, you can't fight it because it's unfamiliar. And it don't look like what you used to, or it don't feel completely what you done got comfortable in. So it's a lot of things that we got to have a mindset of. It's time to start building the tabernacle of Dawid. And what I mean by tabernacle, I mean the nation. Because that was the only major time that we were in the blessing and not the curse. And we was established as a nation. Established as a nation of people. And the Most High, we was the Most High whipping stick. We was the other nations played tribute to us. Our mind has to be focused on nation building. Now, hear what I'm finna say. Don't get caught up in, and don't hear me wrong, but hear what I'm finna say when I say this. Your mind got to be on nation building, not necessarily feuding about doctrine. Hear what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we can't even build a nation because we're so disagreeable about things concerning doctrine because of different things that we done dealt with. And right now you have to be in a place of humility where, hey, I'm ready to do what I have to do to build this nation. Doctrine aspect, the Most High get that straight as we go. But the things that are coming up on the earth now, you have to be settled in your mind with what the Most High has placed in you to do. You have to know what you're here to be doing. You have to know why you're here. So everything we have to do, your heart has to be committed towards the covenant. Rebuilding the covenant that was broken. Reestablishing the oath that was originally made by our ancestors. Reestablishing that oath. Going back to the things that we said when we were standing before Yahuwah. And we told Yahuwah that when, Moshe came down with the orders to build a nation, and they said all these things that we would do, but then we broke it. You can go to Deuteronomy 10, or you can go to Exodus 24, and you can read those things, and you can see those things of what was established, what that we said we'll do, what the blood was applied to. Read Exodus 24, verse 3 all the way down, and it'll show you that. Read Deuteronomy 29, start at verse 10, and go all the way down and let you know that not only was our ancestors making the oath, but we was making the oath within our ancestors. So it's our responsibility to reaffirm. Our part is to reaffirm the oath that our ancestors made to Yahuwah and build this nation one tribe at a time. So if you with Rebirth Tribe, that's our focus. Our focus is on reestablishing these things and building these things back up, going back to the ancient paths. And I know it's going to look different. Even some of our attire, the way we dress, a lot of that stuff going to look different because we going back to those paths because it's power in everything he told us to do. But a nation first have to be able to sustain itself. You can't be a nation if you can't sustain yourself. This is why the Most High pulled us out of Egypt So it says that Moshe was saying, let me tell Pharaoh, put us out of Egypt so we can go and worship him in the wilderness. But he took them out of Egypt to learn how to be self-sustainable. So we have to learn how to first give our people uh, the things to sustain themselves: food, water, shelter, uh, and ownership of those things. And the only way that we can begin to have ownership is that we have to come together and put resources together in order that we don't have to depend on Babylon. Making sure our people eat. And self-sustainability is going back to the ancient path, knowing how to raise your own food, how to grow your own food, how to go out there and kill and hunt your own food. This is the mindset that we have to get now. We can't get so because really going to these stores, and I'm just telling you what reality is. Going to the stores was a curse, and what I mean by that, I'll tell you what. Let me just show you real quick, so you won't think I'm just talking. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. See if I can find it. All right, here we go. Deuteronomy 28. Let's see if I can find it. I should be slain. That sounds the Lord to be good to the people, the fruit of that land. And I should not eat it up. And I should be astonished. And I should give a seed. Strange to know these curses. There we go. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 47. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 47. Because thou serve not Yahuwah thy Elohim with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which Yahuwah shall send thee against thee. Thou shalt serve them in hunger and thirst and nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron around your neck till you be destroyed. So this talking about in all things that we would be serving them for our necessities, which was unheard of in our nation. You know, now the number one thing that we doing is Isaiah 61. That's number one. That's how you rebuild the tabernacle of Dawid. That's how you rebuild it. You can't build a nation broken. You can't build the tabernacle of Dawid broken. And we got to be real with ourselves. Every last one of us broken to a certain point. That we're coming out of that and coming to the fullness. You know what I'm saying? But that's number one. Before, and that's what the Most High doing. If you watch what He doing, even with our ministry, before He gave us the mindset of these things of complete nation building, He sent us through a season of the gospel, the Basora, Isaiah 61, and showing us that this is the pathway in order so I can give you these things. Now watch this. Let me show you. This is what we're about and where we're going and what the Most High is doing. It says, the Spirit of Yahuwah is upon me. The only way that we're going to be able to do these things that Yahuwah want us to do is the Ruach got to be upon us. Why? Because the Ruach is going to lead us into all truth. What truth? The truth that He originally established, because there's no way that we can know what was in the mind completely of our forefathers. Now, we got the scriptures to help us, but it don't give you a complete blueprint on how to get back to these things. So that's why the first thing we got to get is the spirit of what everybody will be doing what's right in their own eyes. And we'll really be doing the things that was based off our environment, but not what's based off the Ruach, because the Ruach is going to lead and guide us and going to bring the things of the mantles of the forefathers that's within our DNA manifested outwardly. Because the same spirit was in the prophets. The same spirit was in Moshe. The same spirit was in Dawid. The same spirit that was even in Adam all the way up has now had the opportunity to be in us and give us of the same whispers or the same, what am I trying to say? They give us of the same things or words or demonstrations that he worked through them. So this is why the having the ruach is important, or you'll be doing things based off your intuition, based off your understanding, because we don't know what direction to go unless the spirit lead us. Everything he's showing us is ruachly led. So this is why it says the spirit of Yahuwah is upon us, and he had anointed us. That means that you have been specifically birthed, born, destined to carry out this task, to carry out this charge, to carry out this thing that you're doing. Specifically, you ain't having a whole lot of struggles because you're in where you're supposed to be. And you're carrying out the functionality of the ancient ruach that's within you, that's crying out to what for the manifestation of the sons, to put them back in the position to set up the ancient paths that we can bring the ancient of days back. So you have to be settled in your mind that I'm going to listen to what the ruach says. I don't care what my parents done put in me. I don't care what my friends have put in me. I don't care what my former religion done put in me. I don't care what none of that. My cup empty now, and my cup is waiting to be filled from within by having the Ruach upon me and being anointed to do what I do. I don't do what I do because I watch somebody else do it. I watch somebody else get attention for it. Because if it was up to me, I wouldn't do this. If it was up to me, I wouldn't do this. Because I know the weight and the responsibility that comes behind it and the headache that comes with it. When I could live a peaceful and quiet life if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But when you've been anointed, and that's why y'all got to figure out what have you been anointed to do? That this thing was on you even before you was born. And it was always in you, and you just recognized it when you awakened. What have you been anointed to do? What part of the piece of the puzzle that the Most High has given to you in order to affect the awakening? You see what I'm saying? Because we can't just be ministers. We can't just be teachers. We have to be effective in our work. I want my conversations to be effective. I want my thought patterns to be effective. I want to make my mind ready to hear from the Ancient of Days so I can reestablish his paths. So this is to also to the rebirth family. Listen, man, what part of building this nation are you going to do? First of all, you got to find out, and this to everybody here, find out where you're supposed to be specifically in the end days. Because when we got scattered, the Most High went from building gatherings to assembly. Then he moved us towards tribe. You ain't supposed to be everywhere. You got a specific people in the end time that the Most High destined you to be with until the regathering of the nation. And you build within that tribe to build the part of the nation that's going to be functional and made ready for Yahusha's return. So get the spirit of Yahuwah, because the spirit is a spirit of the Ancient of Days. It's the Ruach. It's the same Ruach that was there through all the patriarchs' life that's trying to turn us back to that. You hear what I'm saying? And don't allow no circumstance or situation to take your crown. Even if something hurts your feelings, learn how to master your emotions, master your mindset, where you say, okay, maybe I got to back up and regroup and take it up a notch. I've been given this responsibility. I know the gift he gave me. I know what he done established in me. Now it's time to take and use it to be effective where I have been destined to be. So when you know that you're anointed to do something, can't none stop you from functioning and what you've been anointed to do. The problem is we don't know what we've been anointed to do. That's why we're doing everything. And that's why some of y'all ain't building. But be settled in your heart. You had to been completely done with Babylon. Hey man, listen, it's gonna get crazy out there. That's why you got to be in a place of Goshen where you ain't studying it. Like I'm resolved in that. I done settled in my heart that anything dealing with Babylon, I'm done with, and I'm trying to do my best to reestablish the order that the Most High set up. I'm trying to do my best to come back to the ancient paths. I know that ain't the way. I know believing in their system ain't the way. I know begging the people that's been killing my people for years ain't the way. I know voting for a new oppressor ain't the way. Scripture talks about in Jeremiah that your governors shall be of yourselves. Why in the world are you even trying to establish governors? As if this thing gonna last. This is why Isaiah 61 is so important. I ain't just talking about the president. I ain't trying to establish no governors nowhere because I'm trying to build my own, our own, the Most High's nation. He gonna need governors. He said your governors will be of yourselves. From within your tribes. This is why you got to take the domesticated mindset out. You can't be domesticated at this hour, at this time. Still thinking like a caged lion, waiting on your master to come feed you. Let me finish that up real quick. Spirit of Yahuwah is upon me to preach the good tidings to the meek. He sent me to bind up brokenhearted. See, that's the basis of what we're doing, to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberties to the captain, to open up the prison to those that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahuwah, the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. See, this is the area that the Most High knew we was broken in. To point unto them that mourn where? In Zion, to give them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they may be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Most High, that he may be glorified. After that, after he said that, because it's the focus, we got to get free. Because we try to build a nation and we still broke internally in this nation, that nation won't have a foundation to stand upon. It won't have a foundation. It'll be built off revelation, but still broken. So this is why you got to go through these deliverances. Can't nobody lead me if they ain't been delivered. I don't care how much revelation and understanding you got. If you ain't went through no deliverance to become free and got no testimony of your deliverance, of your freedom, then you can't lead me. If I don't know none of your ashes that have been turned to beauty, none of your mourning that have been turned to joy, none of your heaviness that have been turned to the garment of praise. I don't know what prison spiritually that you done came out of. Because your faith ain't been tested. That's why it can't be trusted, man. So this is why this is the focus. But notice after the spirit says you get that straight. First, you get the spirit, then you be anointed. Then I'm gonna give you what to preach. Then you'll bind up the brokenhearted. Then the captives will go free. Then you'll open up the prison houses, spiritual prison houses of those that were bound. Then you'll be able to see, to preach the acceptable year and preach and declare the day of vengeance. Now, notice nation building starts after that. Watch. Nation building starts after that. That's the next verse. Then you shall build up the old waste. You shall raise up former desolations. You shall repair the waste cities and the desolations of many generations. This is when you'll be able to do those things and rebuild those things. But we can't do it before this point. And it goes right back to building up what we was talking about, the tabernacle of David, Amos 9 and 11. And that day I will restore the fallen tent of David, and I will repair its gaps and restore its ruins and rebuild it as the days of old. Same thing, Acts 15, verse 16. And these are the words of the prophets who agree with this, as it is written, Acts 15 and verse 15. The words of the prophets agree with this, as it is written. After this, I will return and build the fallen tent of David. Its ruins I will rebuild, and I will restore it, so that the remnant of men may seek Yahuwah, and all the Gentiles who are called by my name, says Yahuwah, who does these things. Let me read that from verse 14. So Simon has told us how Yahuwah first visited the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his own. Then the words of the prophets agree with this, as it is written. After this, I will return to rebuild the fallen tabernacle of David and its ruins, and I will rebuild it, and I will restore it, so that the remnant of men may seek Yahuwah, and all the Gentiles who are called by my name, says Yahuwah does these things that have been known for ages. That have been known for ages, and it is my judgment, therefore, that we should not cause. Okay, so this is what the Most High is trying to do. This is what he's trying to bring. But we have to go through the process first. The process first. You got to go through that. Then we'll be able to rebuild it. And that's why the Most High was talking to me about establish the foundation for the ancient path, so we can build a foundation for our children even to build upon. Like my mind is gone from Babylon. I only deal with them according to where I have to now till I can get to a point of restoration on certain things, because some stuff gonna take time. But mindset is there, and it's time to build the nation build now. and build up the tabernacle or the tents of Dawid, right? And you'll get understanding of that as we go along and as we move forward. So you have to settle it in your heart. This is where you at, because I'm gonna tell you, number one, the only way that you can really build where does a nation start? Now I want to say this because I don't think we esteem this enough. Like, I don't know if we get it. Y'all know you can't build a nation without a family, right? You can't build a nation without a man and a woman being in agreement. How in the world you think you're gonna build a nation and you don't know how to have unity in your house? I want us to get that. Like, you ain't got a husband that got a mindset to build a nation. You ain't got a wife that got a mindset to build a nation. What you got? And that's why some of the Most High is allowing separation to happen, because your husband or your wife ain't there and ain't trying to be there. They sold to Babylon or sold to their appetites. But man, listen, man, this is what, do you know the Most High didn't start off with a nation? Don't you know he could have? But he chose Adam and Eve, where Adam said, "This is bone of my bone, and flesh of my flesh. She shall become woman because she came out of me." That's the number one offensive weapon we as a people can have that we don't esteem. I'm trying to see how I can have an offensive weapon to a system that's been trying to destroy us. And it's simple: unity. That ain't got nothing to do with something outside of us, but everything to do within us. To be on one accord in your home is building blocks to nation building. If you single right now, it's so detrimental for you to really understand what you're doing. Really understand to be building the building blocks of yourself, because your decision can help build back the nation on purpose. When you settle it in your mind that this is who I'm supposed to be with, and I'm fighting with every part of my being when he comes or when she comes to make it work. Because I know the failure of my relationship as a single person, or I got a chance to redo it again, the failure of my relationship is a failure of building up what the tabernacle, building up what the nation. And once we see it like that, once we see it, you'll get out yourself. You'll get out your feelings. You'll get out your emotion. You won't try to control each other. You won't try to dictate each other. You won't try to get the upper hand in each other, because what? You know that this is the consequence of the nation won't be built again, because it only starts with men and women. How the Most High gonna use you and you can't get that right? How you gonna be a judge? How you gonna be a governor and you can't rule in your home? Like, it ain't nothing else. Like that's, I don't care how much self sufficient we get, uh, being able to sustain ourselves, being able to protect ourselves, being able to do all the set up the different orders. If you don't know how to be a man of Yahuwah, you ain't got nothing. And I'm coming with that. I'm gonna give the men a blueprint of scripturally how we supposed to be. And I'll probably release that on the third Shabbat when we Augusta have our family Shabbat. I was telling the elders that I'm probably gonna speak that Shabbat. But man, you're gonna have a complete blueprint of how a man of Yahuwah is supposed to be established as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a soldier and a warrior for the nation. Concept, one of the main concepts of being a man of Yahuwah, that you got to be willing to die for the nation. And first be willing to die for your wife and your children, die protecting them, then die protecting the nation. And any man that's so self-consumed with himself, with his emotions, with how he feel and his feelings and all that type of stuff, you ain't ready. You ain't ready to protect the nation. And you won't even protect your wife. And you won't even protect the image of a man to your son. How's your son seeing you being a husband? Because he's gonna learn how to be a husband on what to do and what not to do with you, based off he being a product of what you produced. Or he say, I don't want to be like daddy, because I see how he treat mom. But then yet we talking about we want a nation bill and we want a war for the nation. And you won't even war for your home. We want a war against Babylon, but you want war against the spirits that's in your house. The spirits that's causing you to be prideful. The spirits that's causing you to be a narcissist. The spirits that's making you be so full of lust and such a sexual appetite that that's all you think about. That you treat your wife like she a piece of meat. So we don't like to talk about this because all we want is high revelation. But the ancient paths is getting back to nation building and first starting at the house. Because that, like, it's so simple, but that's the only way we gonna do it. That's the only way. That's the only we gotta start there. But the only way we can start there is we have to go, okay, I wanna build my home, but I have to go to Isaiah 61 and be anointed to be a husband, be anointed to be a father. You just ain't a father because you produce a child. You're not Abba. That's just what you can produce. But I have to look into myself and see where I have been bind up in my heart, to bind up the broken heart. I got to go there and look and see where I have been oppressed in my mindset, with my thinking, the way I have been for years. It's been oppressive. That I learned my patterns from my father that was oppressive. That I learned my patterns from my uncles, from the streets, where I have to be allowed pride. And I got to allow those thinking patterns to die because I'm in prison to them. Worst thing to do is to try to be a husband and you in prison to your own lust, in prison to your own emotions, in prison to your own dominating of women, in prison to your all this stuff you in prison to. And you trying to love somebody when you don't even love yourself. But this is nation building. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But you have to settle in your hearts that today I'm ready to build a nation. I can't change my destination overnight, but I can change my direction. That would eventually change my destination. I got to admit that the way I was raised was wrong. And I have to admit that I don't know how to be a husband. I don't know how to be a father. I don't know how to nation build. And ask Yahuwah to show me and to help me. And tell him I'm finna empty my cup. Settle it in your heart. That's right. You are a product of your conclusions of your traumatic experiences. This is why the Most High been having us go in our past and afflict our souls. And afflict our souls. To go back in all those traumatic experiences and admit that we were wrong and still are wrong and don't know what we doing. This is why notice that the first thing the oppressors did was break up the home. That show you how offensive of a weapon it was and how important it was. Man, that's the first thing they looked to do. How can we role reverse? I don't like that woman dependency upon that man. I don't like the way that man is willing to die for that woman and the nation and his family. How can I come in there and break that up and then instill in them the creation that I want them to be throughout their generations? And they got it documented on how to destroy it. That's why we're not that relatable to each other. That's why it ain't till we really go through deliverance that we can actually build community. Because we have been taught to be separate, to find things to disagree upon. Man, y'all, settle it in your hearts that today I have been wrong. And Yahuwah show me. And really, like, I done had a pretty good foundational start with the way I was raised in the sense of being a father and a husband. But I can still say today, Yahuwah, I've been wrong in some areas. And I don't know the ancient path. I've been taught a good path, but show me the ancient path of where you desire us to be as men. That takes humility. Because it ain't till the men get in line that the nation gonna get in line. Settle it in your hearts that you need help. Let me go through a few scriptures to let you see the importance of going back to the ancient path. And that's there where we going, because we just read in Acts that he's gonna build up the old ruins, right? We just read that. Let me see, what's that Acts? Yeah, it was Acts. But we'll read it again. We'll read Amos from where they got it from. It says, "In that day I will restore the fallen tent, a tabernacle of David, and I will repair its gaps and restore its ruins and rebuild it as the days of old." Jeremiah 18 and 15. Now watch this. Jeremiah 18 to 15. "Yet my people have forgotten me. They have burned incense to vanities, worthless idols that cause them to stumble in their ways." What it means that we burn incense, our worship, our prayers, our dedication have been to things that was vanity, to idols, to worthless things that has caused us to stumble in our walk, in our paths. It caused us to stumble because we've been dedicating ourselves to the wrong path that was never ours. And then when the Most High began to present the ancient path, we disdain it and say that's radical, that's crazy. What they doing? But they burn incense to worthless idols that make them stumble in their ways, leaving the ancient paths to walk on what it says, rooted pathways instead of the highway of you. You got different versions, but that's what it talks about. It said we left the ancient paths to follow paths That's not the path or the highway or the road of you. So now we getting back on that right pathway. Let's keep going. Jeremiah 6. Jeremiah 6 and 16. Jeremiah 6 and 16. Thus said Yahuwah, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask. What did it tell us to do? Ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And then once you get it, walk therein. And in the ancient paths, you shall find rest for your souls. But what did they say and what we still saying now? We won't walk into it because it seems strange. Oh, we already got the paths. Scripture says, ask for the old paths. Ask for the ancient ways that you can walk in it. Settle it in your heart that this is what I'm walking in. I don't care what nobody think. I don't care if it make me separate from people. But I'm going in this path because I know this ancient path going to lead me to Yahushua. It's going to lead me to the way of the ancient one, the ancient of days. We got to quit being stupid, man. Messing with all this dumb stuff when he's trying to get us back to the foundation of the fountain of life that he established, not for us. I mean, not for nobody else, but for us. Every nation got a path, but we so busy walking on other nation paths or some paths that have been created through religion that's not our path. And the only way that we're going to get our ancient path is we allow the ancient spirit from Yahuwah to dwell within us, to teach us and guide us and show us building blocks of what he did in ancient times so we can rebuild it today and make it greater. Oh, we paying attention, man. Oh, we listening. Oh, we paying attention. Let's go to Jeremiah 2. I want us to get this. Jeremiah 2, verse 11. This is why you have to be settled in your heart. You have to let a lot of stuff just go. You have to be settled. You have to be settled. Verse 11. Have a nation changed their Elohims? So every nation have an Elohim. What are you following? Have you examined yourself? Which are not yet gods. But my people, Yahuwah's children, have changed their ancient glory for that which do not profit. The path we had made us renowned. That's what glory really represents in ancient times. Your might, the way that you're renowned, your name in the earth, um, the power of what you even possess. Um, that's what your glory was. How you have been established in the earth and have all these things. That it went forth and the Most High said, y'all didn't change y'all glory, the glory that I gave y'all through covenant with me, for that which do not profit anything. You got people like Paula White, TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar, a lot of these people that won't allow you to embrace nothing culturally. or embrace nothing from an ancient perspective. And just Babylonian mindsets. You have to settle it in your heart. That I want that ancient glory, man. I don't know about it. I'm learning. But I'm settled in my mind that I'm done with that. But look at what he said. Watch this, man. Verse 11, have a nation changed their gods, which are not gods. And we wonder why our prayers and stuff weren't getting answered. And still to a degree, because we won't go back to the ancient path that's going to summon our Elohim to us. But my people have changed their glory for that which do not profit. Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid, and be you very desolate, says Yahuwah, because this is what it's going to make you. Verse 13, for my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, which is the fountain of living waters, and have hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that hold no water. He said, if you didn't trade in me for all these religions, for all these type of things, man, that don't hold no water. What does that represent? The fountain of living water, which is the fountain of truth, that these things, the idols that we done set up in our mind, do not hold water. They don't hold truth. And they will not fill your thirst and your hunger for righteousness. You see what I'm saying? We need the ancient spirit of Yahuwah, the Ruach HaKodesh, to come bring these things back to our remembrance and show us how to repair, rebuild, restore the tabernacle of Dawid, restore the covenant, and build the nation. Now, let me show you something, man. I'm gonna let y'all go. I hope I'm helping you. I hope I'm helping you. We gotta get this. We gotta quit being stupid, fussing, fighting over stupid stuff. Settle in your mind where you're supposed to be. If you're supposed to be with us, this is on Rebirth Channel to Rebirth people. Hey man, we got too much work to do. We got work to do. We got a lot of work to do. We can't fight the deliverance process. The deliverance process make us ready to do the work. But now, let me show you what's gonna happen if you ain't got all this other stuff out your DNA. Because the reason this stuff is happening, the Most High gonna put a type of terror and fear on the earth like we ain't never seen. And if our foundation ain't Him, if we ain't, and our salvation would be the ancient paths. I'm telling you, if you got your trust in any other thing, it's gonna fall. Let me show you something. Deuteronomy 32. Let me see if I can find that down there. Oh, yeah, I just jumped on another one. Okay. Um, let's go. I wasn't trying to come to this scripture right here, but this was a good one. Let me just read from verse 1. Give ye ear, O ye heavens, and speak and hear, O ye earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as a small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon grass. Because I will publish the name of Yahuwah and ascribe greatness to Yahuwah. This is something we need to pray. That the teaching, the doctrine that we give shall be dropped as rain. That our speech shall be distilled as dew, as small rain upon a tender herb. And that's the showers upon grass. This is what needs to be our prayer about what comes out of us from the standpoint of it being effective to the hearers. because I will publish the name of Yahuwah and ascribe greatness to our Elohim. For he is the rock, and his work is perfect, for all his ways in judgment. An Elohim of truth without iniquity, just and right is he. Watch this. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. Now we got to look at this and say, okay, this is me. We don't like to do that. I have corrupted myself. My spot was not the spot of his children. It says they are perverse and crooked generation. We are been a perverse and crooked generation. Do you thus the requisite of Yahuwah, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father which bought thee? Have he not made thee and established thee? Verse 7. See, this is what we got to get. Mark this one. Remember the day of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy fathers, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided the nation their inheritance and separated the sons of Adam, and he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For yours portion is his people and a lot of his inheritance. See, this is where we got to get. How can we today ask our fathers and our elders if they did? And then I'm gonna ask that real quick. How can we ask our fathers, like the scriptures say? It says, "Remember the days of old," and they were showing. He said, "Ask your fathers and your elders," and they were showing to them. So, how will we be able to do that? Because we have been scattered and separated and stripped of everything. So, how will we fulfill that today? That's a question. Come on, give me some answers. How will we fulfill that? How can we ask our fathers and our elders? There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. We have to ask the Ancient of Days through the Ruach HaKodesh, because that's our Father. And he spoke to the fathers and the elders, the patriarchs and matriarchs of our faith. This is how we can get it. And he'll manifest it to us. You see what I'm saying? All right, so that ain't what I was trying to get to, but that was good. All right. Now we still in 32. All right, we're in 32. Let's go to verse 28. Well, let's go to 26. 32 and 26. I'm going to do a little reading. Read on down because I want you to see this. It said, I said I would have scattered them into corners, and I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Were not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, unless they should say, our hand is high, and Yahuwah have not done all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Oh, that they were wise, and that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How shall one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except they rock had sold them and Yahuwah had set them up? Now watch this. It's talking about the oppressors. For their rock is not our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. So we got to quit depending on their rock for salvation. Their rock is not our rock. The same people that enslaved you and beat you can't give you a ancient path or a religious system to save you. They can't. For their rock is not our rock, even our enemies themselves being judged. For their vine is the vine of Sodom. And you think you've seen some now of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes and grapes of Gal and their clusters are bitter. Watch what's finna be released now. I'm telling you. You talking about watch some high level wickedness finna be released now, boy. Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah. And you talking about some wicked spirits because this nation has agreed with an agenda dealing with inordinate affections, dealing with homosexuality, dealing with transgender. Because once you agree with it, then you summon the spirit of what you agreed with that's behind the scenes of whatever governmental structure. And watch how wicked it gets from the school systems, from all these things. It's gonna get real. Now watch this. Let me hurry up. I won't get on that. For their wine is the poison of dragons and cruel venom of asps. Is it not laid up in store with me and sealed up among my treasures? What's laid up in store? Vengeance. He's finna tell you. He said, vengeance is a treasure unto me. Verse 35. To me belongs vengeance and recompense. Boy, it's laid up in store for you. Their foot shall slide in due time. That's why we don't get discouraged. For their day of calamity is at hand, and the things shall come upon them shall make haste. This stuff is right round the corner. For Yahuwah shall judge his people and repentance of his servants. When he see that their power is gone, and there's none shut up or left, he shall say, where are their gods, the rock in whom they trusted? Now he say, you done went after all these other gods and develop all these other rocks that you made the rock of your salvation. He gonna want to ask you. This is why all this stuff got to happen, because so many of us still sleep. And we trust in, and we in all these different religions and constructs. And the Most High gonna keep allowing it to get stouter, more wicked, stouter, more murder, more killing, to let you see your rock you can't trust in. These next few years, people gonna be able to the rock that they trust in. A lot of them gonna turn atheists because they ain't gonna know what to go to, and we're gonna be functioning in the ancient path, already prepared because nothing has snuck up on us unaware. Well, you just watch. The Most High finna shake every religious construct in this nation that his people is a part of, because he got to show them that where are your gods? And to them, he gonna be like he don't even exist. To them, he gonna be non-existent, to let them see that whatever you calling upon, that ain't the way. All right, let me hurry up. Verse 37, he shall say, where are your gods? The rock in whom you trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices. Look at you. You ate their sacrifices, their holy days, their holidays. You ate their sacrifice. And you drunk the wine of their drink offerings, their way to offer up their praises and offer up those things to the Most High. And what he say? Let them rise up and help you, and let them be your protection. No, you say that's real. No, that's what you say. You say you say You say we crazy over here as Israelites, especially them Israelites at Rebirth. They crazy for real. They radical. Okay, we're gonna see in a minute. Everybody gonna need to be radical. We're gonna see in just a little bit. When you see your God ain't working, why watch your family members? Watch this. They ain't gonna be able to handle what's finna hit there. They're gonna be wondering where Jesus at. They're gonna be wondering where Allah is and all these other constructs. All right, I'm almost finished. Let me finish this up. Where was that? Da 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 da. All right, verse 37. They should say, "Where are their gods on whom they trusted? Either which did eat the sacrifice and drink the wine of drink offs. Let them rise up and help you and be your protection." Verse 39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there's no God with me. I'm gonna let you see that. I kill, I make alive. I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For if I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever, and if I whet my glittering sword, so we don't like to deal with that. We don't like to deal with dealing with swords and staffs and spears and sickles and all that type of stuff. But the Most High got one in heaven. So if I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold of judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood. My sword shall devour flesh, and that the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenges is upon my enemy. Then what it tell us to do? Rejoice, O ye nation, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. So this is what the Most High gonna do. He told us to be rejoicing during this time. Don't rejoice. Rejoice in me. Go get your djembe. Go get your string instruments. Go get your drums. Go get your cymbals. Uh, go get the order in which you worship. The order in which the worship's supposed to go forth. Declare my vengeance. Speak of my vengeance. Get the spirit of the warriors of the days of old. While you rejoicing, as if you're going to battle. But listen, this is where we at, man. This is where we at. This is where we're going. Settle it in your hearts that you committed to understanding the ancient paths. That you're committed to building back the tabernacle of Dawid. That you're committed building back the nation that has been broken down and building it back up. One family at a time. Be committed to righteousness. Be committed to holiness. Be committed to Yahuwah. Be committed. Be a soldier. Settle it in your mind. Settle it in your mind. Settle it in your mind that you're going to participate in your own freedom. But first, you got to get free within. You got to get to the core of your darkness and make it full of light so you can be effective in building the nation. Because the only way you can build if you have light within. If you're not willing to give up your darkness and expose your darkness, you need not walk with us. I'm telling you. Because where we going, you won't be able to hide under the radar. Yahuwah is going to expose you. And it ain't got to be no exposure, just letting people see in the sense of, um, oh, I see this now. Because we still in that season of I see this. But it's gonna be a season of people dropping. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a season when we get that season where most I just start throwing sicknesses on people like that, or have people dropping assembly, and you wonder what in the world. Okay, keep on playing with him because he see all, and he got to get us ready for that. Well, if that does happen, and we know it's because of sin, carry you on out and keep on worshiping and worship. Call somebody to come get you if you ain't dead. But it's gonna get to that because ain't nobody not gonna pass under the rod and think you're gonna be all right. So man, let's get this done. Let's get this done. All right. We love y'all. Settle it in your hearts that you are ready to first have the ancient spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah. Then to be anointed, given a specific task that you're supposed to do and building the awakening. Preach the good tidings within yourself, war within yourself, that your heart be not binded up no more, that you don't be oppressed no more. You can finally go free. And then you let yourself out of your own prison. Then the Most High can give you beautiful ashes to all the joyful mourning and the garment of praise for the spirit of heaven. Then and after then can we build the old waste and the desolation of many generations and begin to bring back the tabernacle of that weed, because it's going to happen whether you ready or not. The Most High just replace you. If you're not ready, he'll replace you. So I pray for that for everybody. I love y'all. If you sent me an email on Hebrew Nation Building, I will catch up this week. So this week coming, I'm gonna try to catch up on all the emails on Hebrew Nation Building. I know I've been missing a lot of y'all. Don't charge it to my heart. Don't get no attitude and get all in your feelings. I'm gonna catch up on everything this week and make sure I catch up on all that stuff. So if you have sent me one, I will respond. I'm gonna try to go back deep. All right. But I love y'all. Let this be your prayer. And have a beautiful day. And we're gonna bid you shalom.